Hello, Mom. Have you ever been asked, Mom, is Santa real? If you have, please let me know in the comments. Today, we're going to talk about how we respond to this really hard question from our children. And I know there are harder questions than this one, but this one is a tricky one because if our children have been believing about Santa for a long time, we don't want to break trust with our children. We don't want our children to think that we are liars and that they cannot trust us. And the second thing, if we tell them the truth, we don't want to spoil the magic of Christmas for them. As a therapist, by the way, if you're new to my channel, hello, I'm Marcela Collier. I am a mom of twin toddlers, and I've been doing foster care for a long time, since 2012. And I've had this question many times from children that have came to my care, and I figured it out the way, and I can't wait to share it with you how to handle this question in a way that you are not breaking trust with your child, and two, that you're not spoiling Christmas for them. Okay? If you hear my toddlers, they're in the back, they're playing with that. I'm sorry about that. So, if you're new to my channel, please, I encourage you to subscribe and to hit the notification bell so every time I upload content, I'm all about building you with the confidence that you got this mom and dad, that you're able to raise happy, confident children. Every Tuesday, I do a live where I'm here responding to comments and talking about topic about parenting. And every Sunday, I upload a video about mom tips, hacks, and hacks and tips to make your life a little bit easier. Okay, so let's go right to the topic. If your child is already asking, is Santa real? Or they might not be asking you the direct question, but they might be starting to ask you things like, if Rudolph flies Santa, how come I've never seen a reindeer with wings that can fly? So if they're already asking these kinds of questions, they're already trying to gather the facts towards the truth. They already know that there are some inconsistencies, that this might not be real, that I've never seen Santa, and all the Santas I've seen, they look like different people. So they're trying to gather the facts themselves, right? So what do you do with this, right? What do you do with this? You don't want to break trust with your child, right? And you don't want to spoil their Christmas. So the first thing is, if they're already making that transition, don't break the transition. And how can you make this transition? You can make this transition one of two ways. And these two ways, there is one that I don't really agree with, and there is another one that, is not bad, but it's not the best. So the first way that you can break this transition is by making up a bigger lie. So if they're asking you, we don't have a fireplace in our house, so how is Santa going to enter? And then you say, oh, well, I opened the door for Santa. You are making up a bigger lie, a bigger story, a story that is not even like you made it up. You're making up a bigger story to explain to your child to explain to your child a question that he has or she has. And the second way that you break that transition is by just telling them, you know what, Santa is not real, get off the clouds, he's not real, it's me, I'm sorry. And sometimes you don't get what you want because I'm on a budget. And this one, okay, the first one I don't really agree with, because your child, one day he's going to find out that what the truth is, and you are really going to struggle with like your child believing you because you're making up even more stories. And the second one is not bad because you're telling them the truth, and you always want your children to know that you tell them the truth. But it's not great because you may still let them down and they may still feel disappointed. So what I do is I don't break the transition. I go along with the transition and I guide them towards the truth for them to figure it out themselves at their own time, at their own pace, on their own terms. So if they're already asking me questions about Rudolph, how can he fly? I could follow up with another question such as, have you ever seen a reindeer fly? Or have you ever seen that reindeer have wings? And those are questions that could lead them up to the truth and they can figure it out themselves. So I go along with the transition. And when they are actually able to put the puzzle pieces together, right? They're developmentally, mature to understand what pretend play is and what is not, and they might thank you. They might thank you because you didn't lie to them, right? You brought them along on this transition and you actually helped them out figure it out, figuring the truth out. So that's what I do. When it comes to, for example, my toddlers, they don't even know about Santa yet. They had a picture with Santa last weekend and they were looking at the big guys like, who are you? We don't know you, we don't trust you, I don't want to be on your lap. So they don't even know about the magic and the excitement of Santa, right? So what would you do with your younger children? What would you do? Do you make them believe that Santa is not real, or just from the start you let them know that Santa is a made up story and that's it, and for them to always grow up thinking and knowing the truth? This is how I would handle it. First of all, you have to be aware of the age, because you don't want your child to spoil everybody else's children's Christmas, right? How I was spoiling everybody's Christmas. And I would come up to my friends and I say, you know what? Those shoes, that's not from Santa, it's from your mom and dad. And I would get in trouble, not just with the kid's mom, but the kid would kind of like, I could see the disappointment in his eyes, and So you have to be aware. If your children is on the age that all his peers know who Santa is, you might want to tell them straight up, because you might be setting up for failure, social failure, if they're still in middle school and they don't know who Santa is. And I tell you this because I know this child. My husband is a school counselor, and he told me about this kid. He was in 6th grade and he was he was picked on because he didn't know who Santa was, and he was fighting for his truth. So yeah, don't have your child to experience social failure when it comes to that. If he's too old, just please tell them. Now, if he's too young and pretty much all his peers don't know who Santa is, go along with what he's trying to find out about Santa, and don't make a big deal of it, right? If you don't make a big deal of it, your child is not going to make a big deal of it. And that goes for Santa, and that goes for everything else. If you don't make a big deal out of anything, your child is not going to make a big deal either. Usually for the most part. But for sure, when you're making a big deal out of something, even if it wasn't a big deal for them, they're going to make it a big deal. Okay, so how do I handle this? With my toddlers, they don't know who Santa is. But when it comes to that, and you take it with, you take it as you decide what is best for you, what is best for your child. This is what I'm going to do with my toddlers. That doesn't mean it's something that you have to do with your toddlers, but it's just I just want to share with you, and then you decide what to do with this, with these things that I'm telling you. I want my children to be assured that everything that I tell them is the whole truth, no matter what. Because when they grow up a little bit more, they might not be asking me questions about Santa, but they could be asking me questions about Jesus. And I want them to know that Jesus is real, that he is real. They would be asking me questions about relationships, about marriage, about things that are going on in the world, and I want them to have no doubt in their mind that everything I say is the whole entire truth. So what I'm going to do with my toddlers, even from now, it's not that I'm going to not let them experience the magic of the traditions of Christmas. We're still going to bake the cookies for Santa. We're still going to leave Rudolph his carrot. We're still going to write letters for Santa, but everything as part of a game, as part of a really fun, exciting, pretend game. Yes, I'm going to let them know that Jesus is real, but Santa is real only in our imaginations. The same way that Transformers are real in our imaginations, the same way that Spider-Man is living in our imaginations, Santa is alive in our imaginations, but he is not a real person, right? And I'm going to talk to them about the true meaning of Christmas, the true value of Christmas, that is that we're celebrating the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm going to talk to them about the reason for this season, which is Jesus. And when it comes to Santa Claus, we're going to treat Santa Claus as a really fun game. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me ask you a question. Please let me know in the comments if your children already know about the truth about Santa and how old your children are. Please let me know in the comments. Please give me a thumbs up if this was of value for you. I live stream every Tuesday at this time. 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and I'm here to talk about parenting and to give you encouragement that you are able to make it, that you got this, mom, okay? You're able to raise happy, confident children. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you on my next video, which is going to be Christmas Day. Yeah. Not Christmas Day, Christmas Eve. On Christmas Eve. Okay, bye-bye.